Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. And this is a different perspective than what you usually see when you tune into my channel. But today I'm going to bring you a pretty silly story time, which I have entitled, My Evil Fish Goes Titanic. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is my evil fish. He was originally named Sonic because he is fast and annoying. I've had him for almost a year now. He's gotten quite large. And the reason that I call him my evil fish is because he's killed every fish that I've put in this tank with him. Every single one. Goldfish, catfish, little fish, big fish. He's killed them all. And how did he do it? He ate their fins until they started swimming around on the circle, and then they didn't have any fins left and they just died. And no fish can be in there with him. He is especially evil. You can see he's touching the top of the water there. He eats quite well. Now, when I go to feed him, he sees the jar of food, I guess, through the glass, obviously, and he bangs his head in the glass for the food. So, let me tell you what happened, why my evil fish went Titanic. I had to clean this tank. This is, let me zoom out here, get that out of the way. This is a 10-gallon fish tank. He has ample room to move around. I used to have a filter in here, but I took it out because it stopped working. And it was noisy and I didn't like it. So, and he's only one fish. And I do clean the tank at least, once a month. Because he's one fish. How much can he poop and do? So what was I saying? Oh, all right. So I was going to clean out the tank and I put him in a bowl over here on my counter. A large, deep bowl. And he was in there, and I took out the water. I take it out a pitcher at a time until I can safely move the tank and empty it out. Because it is, 10 gallons of water is really heavy. You may not think it's heavy, but it's heavy. So, what did I do? I put him in the bowl and I started emptying out the water. I rinsed out the tank. I put the tank back and I begin to refill it with the water. Now let me just show you, moving my chair back here, what happened. So the bowl is over here. And I am at the sink with the pitcher. He jumped from the bowl to the floor and was flip-flopping back and forth on the floor. Okay, now I'm back. So he was flip-flopping on the floor. I was about to bring, excuse me, a pitcher of water over to the tank, and I see this, I see the fish going like this, and I was like, and I screamed. I just kept screaming. I was like, ah, and then it would it would, again, I was like, ah, and I was like, oh my God, it's so disgusting. How am I supposed to get this evil fish back into the bowl? Now, this fish has never bitten me before. I wasn't really worried about that, but it's just the idea of picking up a floundering, flopping fish on the floor. Like, how did he jump out of the bowl? Why would he jump out of the bowl? Okay. Ugh. And he's flopping all over the place. And I was like, oh my God. And he would flop and flop. And I'm like, I have to do something. I didn't want to step on it. I was afraid that I was going to step on him. Like he was going to flip and I wasn't going to see him and I would accidentally step on him and there would be, ugh. So I was like, I have to pick him up. How am I gonna, I don't want to touch him. I don't want to touch him. He's slimy and scaly. So I took the bowl, I put the bowl on the floor. I took the wee wee pad off the floor and I scooped him up in the wee wee pad, or at least I went like this and hoped that I had scooped him up, and I did, and I put him back in the bowl. And then I was like, what if he jumps out of the bowl again? So I put the wee wee pad on top of the bowl and left him there. He's never done this before. I've changed the tank, the water in the tank this way many, many times, and he's never done this before. I don't know. Is he super unhappy and trying to commit suicide? Is that what's happened? Or what? I don't know. So I covered the bowl, and then when I had sufficient amounts of water back in the tank, but it wasn't full to the top, I poured him back in there. So he's been swimming around fine now. I fed him. He keeps dipping to the top of the water, taking a little breath of air. I don't know how he survived a leap from the counter to the floor, and he must have been flip-flopping for about 5 seconds. And 5 seconds is a long time. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Because I was so shocked. I just didn't know what to do. He better not do that again. And now, like, yes, he's evil, but I don't wish bad upon this fish. I take good care of him. He wants to be alone. He doesn't want to be with other fish. Fine. I wish he didn't have to eat and kill all of my other fish, like 5 fish, before I realized that he was the way he is. So now he stays in the tank by himself. He's got a full 10-gallon tank all to himself, and there's nothing for him to feel evil about and angry. But so anyway, despite that trauma, he seems to be okay. I don't know if he'll be floating belly up tomorrow, God forbid, but so far he seems okay. Now, when I bought him, I believe the sign said Australian rainbow fish. I know I've talked about this fish before, and other people have told me that it's called other things. But this fish, I'm kind of proud of this fish because he's gotten... I'm very bad with fish. I have a tendency to kill fish. I don't know why. Like, I'm not intentionally, but I'm just not a good fish keeper. I'm not a good... what's a aquarist? Aqua something? I don't do fish. I'm not good at fish. I'm not good at plants either, but I'm not good at fish. And this fish has survived me, not being a professional fish keeper. And he's gotten bigger and more evil. So, let me just show you more of him being evil. So, as you can see, he doesn't look like he's been harmed at all. He's just hanging around. He eats a nutritious diet of fish flakes. And, at least I hope it's nutritious. I give him some blood worms every now and then. And, let's hope that we never have another issue like that again. So I hope you enjoyed this weird and wacky story time. And until next time, goodbye everyone out there in YouTube land.